Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Aditi Lumba with the evening news. The headlines. Number of recovered COVID-19 patients exceeds number of active patients for the first time. Recovery rate improves to 48.88%. Delhi hospitals asked to display availability of beds and costs on LED boards. Prime Minister Narendra Modi assures Assam Chief Minister of all possible support to deal with Baghjan fire incident. 200 Standard Internationals repatriated from Maldives today. Prime Minister reviews Kedarnath development and reconstruction project with Uttarakhand government, and Sri Lankan parliamentary elections to be held on August 5th. Government today said that for the first time the number of recovered patients from COVID-19 has exceeded the number of active patients. Health Ministry said 1,35,205 patients have recovered and the total number of active cases is 1,33,632. The recovery rate now stands at 48.88%. In the last 24 hours, as many as 5,991 patients were cured of COVID-19. The ministry said central teams are being deputed to provide technical support and handhold to the state health departments and municipal health officials to review public health measures being undertaken for COVID-19 in 6 cities. These cities are Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Kolkata, Delhi and Bengaluru. The teams will undertake visit to these cities within the next 1 week to review public health measures being undertaken for COVID-19. The teams will submit daily report of activities undertaken to State Health Department and the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. They will inform them regarding any issue of urgent importance and also submit a report of its observations and suggestions before concluding the visit. Delhi Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal has directed the Delhi Chief Secretary to ensure installation of LED boards at all major health facilities to display availability of beds, charges and details of persons to be contacted for admission. In his letter, the LG said the health department must ensure that data displayed on these LED boards reconcile with that available on the Delhi government's app. The move is aimed at increasing transparency in allocation of hospital beds to the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Baijal, who is also the chairman of the Delhi Disaster Management Authority, said periodic surprise checks may also be conducted by officers deputed by the DDMA to ensure that correct data is displayed by health facilities and no genuine patient is denied admission or is overcharged. Earlier today, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said his government will implement Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal's order overturning the decision on reservation of state-run and private hospitals in the national capital.
In Tamil Nadu, DMK MLA J. Anbazgan died of COVID-19 disease this morning. He was 62 and breathed his last on his birthday at a private hospital in Chennai. Several leaders have expressed condolences over his demise. Meanwhile, in Tamil Nadu, the total number of COVID-19 affected people has surged to 36,841, with a record 1,927 people confirmed with the infection today. More from our correspondent.
The State Health Department is further reinforcing the strength of the doctors, nurses and other paramedical staff in view of the growing COVID-19 burden. It is deploying 574 fresh postgraduate doctors on contract basis with the monthly remuneration of 75,000 rupees. In addition, 665 doctors will be put on duty on a consolidated pay of 60,000 rupees a month. 365 lab technicians and 1,230 multi-purpose health workers would also be engaged on consolidated pay to treat the COVID-19 patients in the state, as announced by the government. Its release says they will be recruited for a limited duration of 3 months. The move is expected to reduce the workload of most doctors in Chennai who work relentlessly against the onslaught of the virus. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
Kerala continues to report a rise in COVID-19 cases with 65 new cases and 1 COVID death today. More from a correspondent.
The test result of 87-year-old who died on June 7th in Thrissur also turned positive today, taking the death toll due to COVID in the state to 17. Bringing great relief, 57 persons recovered from the disease today. Presently, 1,238 active cases are there in Kerala. Meanwhile, under Vande Bharat mission, 68 flights are carrying stranded Indian nationals from Gulf region to Kerala today. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
In Chandigarh, 5 people today tested positive for COVID-19, while 4 affected people were discharged after recovery. With this, the total number of affected people in the Union Territory has risen to 328. Now, there are 34 people under treatment. 5 have died due to COVID-19 so far in Chandigarh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today spoke to Assam Chief Minister Sarvanand Sonowal to discuss the situation in the wake of Bagjan fire tragedy. The Prime Minister's office said Mr. Modi assured all possible support from the centre. The PMO said the situation has been monitored closely. Meanwhile, the spread of fire is now under control at Bagjan, but the well fire is on following yesterday's blast. Talking to AIR, OIL spokesperson Trideep Hazarika said that the spread of fire to neighbouring areas has been controlled. He said the 2 bodies of OIL firefighters who went missing after the blast have recovered today by the NDRF.
The OIL Limited said that 4 weeks' time will be required to bring the situation back to normal at Bagjan in Assam following the yesterday's blast. Talking to AIR, spokesperson of Oil India Limited, Trideep Hazarika said that the team of experts from Singapore are on the job to control the situation.
The spokesperson of the Oil India Limited informed that the spread of fire to nearby areas has already been controlled, but the welfare is still on and efforts are on to douse it. Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has instructed the Oil India Limited to take all steps to control the spread of fire. Assam Industry and Commerce Minister Chandramohan Patori today held a discussion with the Chief Managing Director of the Oil India Limited at Tinsukia. The company has set up 4 committees to deal with the current crisis situation. The affected people are taking shelter at 12 relief camps. 2 employees of the Oil India Limited lost their lives in the incident. Manaspatim Sharma, AR News, Guwahati.
A total of 200 Indian nationals were repatriated from Maldives today through its national carrier Maldivian. The first Maldivian flight carried 118 Indian nationals to Trivandrum, while another flight departed for Chennai from Malé International Airport, carrying 82 Indian nationals. The repatriation was carried out in coordination with the Indian High Commission in Malé. With this evacuation, around 3,000 people have been brought back from Maldives since the mission Vande Bharat began. Indian Navy ships INS Jalashwar has ferried thrice, while INS Magar made a maiden voyage, carrying out 2,000 people as part of Samudra Setu program. 2 Air India flights were arranged last month, while another 3 flights will be operating later this month. Indian High Commission is also helping in arranging chartered flights for companies and individual groups. Maldives has over 20,000 internationals and over 5,000 have registered to return in wake of the COVID crisis. About 180 passengers arrived under Vande Bharat mission at Trichy International Airport today from Singapore.
Air India started the sale of tickets for the flights to bring back stranded Indians in the European nations from this afternoon under the Vande Bharat mission Phase 3. The applicant should be registered with local Indian embassy or High Commission. People can book tickets on Air India website in city booking offices and call centres for travel to London and destinations in non-CIS countries in Europe. Government had announced to extend the Vande Bharat mission to Phase 3 until scheduled commercial flights resume again. In the Phase 3 of the Vande Bharat mission, the airline will operate 300 flights to North America and Europe from the 9th to 30th of June. Health and Family Welfare Ministry has ordered that all CGHS empanelled hospitals which are notified as COVID hospitals by state governments shall provide treatment facilities to CGHS beneficiaries for all COVID-related treatments. It has also been directed that all the CGHS empanelled hospitals which are not notified as COVID hospitals shall not deny treatment facilities or admission to CGHS beneficiaries and shall charge as per CGHS norms for all other treatments. Ministry said action will be taken in case of violation of the guidelines.
Huge enthusiasm is being seen among the people about sending entries to My Life, My Yoga video blogging competition, which will continue till 15th of this month. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had announced this competition during his Mann Ki Baat program on 31st of this month. Mr. Modi said the world has shown keen interest in yoga and Ayurveda amidst the corona pandemic.
अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस जल्द ही आने वाला है। योग जैसे जैसे लोगों के जीवन से जुड़ रहा है, लोगों में अपने स्वास्थ्य को लेकर जागरूकता भी लगातार बढ़ रही है। कोरोना संकट के इस समय में योग आज इसलिए भी ज्यादा अहम है क्योंकि ये वायरस हमारे रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम को सबसे अधिक प्रभावित करता है। योग में तो रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम को मजबूत करने वाले कई तरह के प्राणायाम है, जिनका असर हम लंबे समय से देखते आ रहे हैं। ये टाइम टेस्टेड टेक्निक्स हैं, जिसका अपना अलग महत्व है।
The competition is being run jointly by Ministry of Ayush and Indian Council for Cultural Relation (ICCR) to raise awareness about yoga and to inspire people to prepare for and become active participants in the observation of International Day of Yoga 2020. In view of COVID-19 pandemic, this year's International Yoga Day on 21st of June will be celebrated on digital media platforms and there would be no mass gatherings. This year's theme will be Yoga at Home and Yoga with Family. Talking to AIR News, ICCR President Dr. Vinay Sahasrabudhe said that people across the world are enthusiastically participating in the My Life, My Yoga video blogging competition. He said thousands of entries are pouring in and people are very happy to share their experiences about yoga.
Even in these days of COVID-19, the love and commitment towards yoga by yoga practitioners from all over the world continues. In fact, in these days of pandemic, I believe there is increase in the number of yoga practitioners. And therefore, in order to observe the International Yoga Day, which this year we cannot observe as we used to practice, as we used to observe routinely, because assemblies are certainly not permissible in this situation. So, in a way, this is a new addition into the yoga movement resources as such. And globally, people are very enthusiastically participating in this competition.
Our correspondent reports that entries to the competition can be submitted till 15th of this month.
Entries to the contest can be submitted by participants under 3 categories: male and female aged 18, male and female above 18 years, and yoga professionals. People can participate in the competition by making a 3-minute video of performing yoga and a short video message on how the yogasanas have influenced their lives. People will have to upload these videos on the social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter with the hashtag MyLifeMyYoga and also hashtag their country's name, tagging the Ayush Ministry. For the Indian contestants, 1 lakh rupees will be given for first prize, 50,000 for second, and 25,000 rupees for third prize. For the international winners, cash prizes worth $2,500, $1,500, and $1,000, along with trophy and certificate, will be given to those ranking first, second, and third. With Anand Kumar, Suparna Sekya, AIR News, Delhi.
Ministry of Ayush, in association with Prasar Bharati, is organizing a daily telecast of the Common Yoga Protocol on DD Bharati from tomorrow. The protocol sessions will be telecasted daily in the morning from 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. The sessions will also be simultaneously available on the social media handles of the ministry. Ladakh Lieutenant Governor R.K. Mathur released the first video on yoga asanas in Ladakhi in Leh this evening. Ahead of the International Yoga Day on June 21st, the National Research Institute for Soa Rigpa NRISR Leh has made a video on yoga asanas in Ladakhi language.
You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Number of recovered COVID-19 patients exceeds number of active patients for first time. Recovery rate improves to 48.88%. Delhi hospitals asked to display availability of beds and cost on LED boards. Prime Minister Narendra Modi assures Assam Chief Minister of all possible support to deal with Baghjan fire incident. 200 stranded Indian nationals repatriated from Maldives today. Prime Minister reviews Kedarnath development and reconstruction project with Uttarakhand government and Sri Lankan parliamentary elections to be held on August 5th. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने साथ अपनों का ध्यान रखो, बड़े बुजुर्गों का तुम ध्यान रखो, महामारी से लड़ना है बहुत जरूरी, ज्यादा पास न जाना, रखो 2 गज दूरी, सुरक्षित दादा दादी नाना नानी अभियान, अपने साथ अपनों का ध्यान।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today conducted a review of the Kedarnath Mutt Development and Reconstruction Project with the Uttarakhand State Government via video conferencing. Laying out his vision for the reconstruction of the shrine, the Prime Minister said that the state government should envision and design development projects for holy sites like Kedarnath and Badrinath in a way that stands the test of time and is yet eco-friendly and in harmony with nature and its surroundings. In Uttarakhand, Char Dham Yatra will not begin till 30th of this month at least. Pilgrims from within the state, except for 3 districts where 4 shrines are situated, and pilgrims outside the state will not be allowed in the 4 Char Dham shrines of Badrinath, Kedarnath, Yamunotri and Gangotri before 30th June. Local pilgrims of Chamoli, Rudraprayag and Uttarkashi will be allowed in limited numbers to perform Puja Archana where Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gangotri and Yamunotri Dham are situated. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the lion population in Gujarat has been steadily rising. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said this is powered by community participation, emphasis on technology, wildlife health care, proper habitat management and steps to minimize human-lion conflict. He hoped that this positive trend will continue in the future.
In Gujarat, the Asiatic lions, which once faced imminent extinction, has shown a population recovery. In the recent exercise called Poonam Avlokan, which was carried out in the last week exclusively by the Forest Department, the population of Asiatic lions has shown a steady increase by 28.87%. The recent exercise shows that the population of lions has gone up to 674 against 523, which was reported in 2015. A report from our correspondent.
The Poonam Avlokan exercise was conducted on 5th and 6th of this month in 9 districts of Saurashtra, in which the Forest Department used the block count method. Around 1,400 forest personnel were involved in the exercise. Apart from the direct count method, various additional tools such as GPS location, individual identification marks and radio collars have also been used. The exercise shows that the lion distribution area has increased by 36%. In 2015, the lion population was seen in 22,000 square kilometers of Gir forest, which has increased to 30,000 square kilometers in 2020. Talking to AIR, Chief Conservator of Gir Forest of Junagadh Division, Dushyant Vasavda said multiple strategies and interventions have been implemented to conserve the population of Asiatic lions. The Gir Forest of Gujarat is the last abode of Asiatic lions. With Sanjeev Mehta from Junagadh, this is Aparna Khund, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has said the time-bound decision of lockdown taken by Prime Minister Narendra Modi has played an important role in controlling the spread of COVID-19 epidemic in the country. He was addressing a virtual rally from New Delhi today. The Union Minister said that 15 countries of the world which were most affected by novel coronavirus has reported about 4,04,396 deaths due to COVID-19 pandemic, whereas India on the other hand has registered 7,745 corona deaths. He said despite a large population, India has been able to control the pandemic. He further stated that the Union government has not only announced a 1.70 lakh crore rupees package for the poor, but has also announced the world's biggest economic package of 20 lakh crore rupees for the revival of the dwindled economy of the country due to pandemic. Mr. Thakur, while addressing the virtual rally from the state capital Shimla, said the state government has made elaborate arrangements to contain the spread of COVID-19. The Chief Minister also administered Sankalp Oath on the occasion.
Professor Balram Bhargav, Director General ICMR, said that India has increased the COVID-19 testing capacity tremendously within a short period of time. In an exclusive interview to AIR News, Professor Balram Bhargav said all efforts have been made by ICMR along with other organizations to find a drug for its treatment and vaccine for COVID-19.
कोरोना की रोकथाम में आईसीएमआर की भूमिका ये रही कि जनवरी में हमारे पास एक लेबोरेटरी थी जांच करने के लिए. हम लोग ने धीरे धीरे बढ़ा के 823 करीब लेबोरेटरी पूरे देश में बना दिए हैं. 50 लाख टेस्ट हो चुके हैं आज की तारीख तक. दिन में कोई 1,40,000 टेस्ट हो रहे हैं. दूसरा आईसीएमआर की कुछ ट्रायल्स चल रही हैं कई रीपर्पस्ड ड्रग्स पे या रीपर्पस्ड प्लाज्मा पे, जिसका हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि इससे कुछ फायदा होता है कि नहीं फायदा होता है. तीसरा अनुसंधान कर रहे हैं कुछ वैक्सीन के डेवलपमेंट में. और चौथा हम लोग अनुसंधान कर रहे हैं मोनोक्लोनल एंटीबॉडीज में और सीरा में भी कुछ एंटीबॉडीज यदि हम लोग पा सकते हैं. इन सब क्षेत्रों में अनुसंधान हो रहा है.
For full interview, listen to Spotlight program tonight at 9:15 p.m. This interview will also be available on our social media platforms. In Uttar Pradesh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has directed to commission TrueNet machines in all 75 districts by the 15th of this month. These machines are reaching the state, and with the help of these machines, number of tests can be increased. Recently, the Chief Minister had handed over his own official plane to bring necessary machines from Goa. A report.
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath today said that the TrueNet machines have been procured to get prompt COVID testing results, which will enable hospitals to start the treatment of non-COVID patients early. The state government has set the target to increase the daily COVID tests by 20,000 this month only. Presiding over a high-level unlock review meeting at his official residence today, Chief Minister instructed the concerned officials to maintain adequate arrangements in COVID and non-COVID hospitals. He directed the Medical Education Minister and Health Minister of the state to have regular feedback from various medical institutes and district hospitals. The Chief Minister said that all possible steps must be taken to protect police force from infection. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Gujarat, pre-monsoon showers continued to lash several parts of Saurashtra and southern parts of the state. Heavy downpour was witnessed in parts of Amreli, Gir Somnath and Bhavnagar districts today.
Coastal districts of Saurashtra continued to get pre-monsoon showers. Maximum 70 millimeters rain recorded in Dhari Taluka of Amreli district. According to State Flood Control Room, 60 talukas of Saurashtra and South Gujarat have received light to moderate rain during the past 24 hours. Out of this, 26 talukas have received more than 25 millimeters rain. Local weather office has predicted light to moderate rains with thunderstorm at isolated places in the state during the next 24 hours. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
The Rajasthan government has decided to regulate and control interstate traffic. According to the guidelines issued by the Home Department, the protective protocol will have to be followed for entering the state, but no pass will be required.
In the order issued this morning, instructions were given to seal all the interstate borders of the state. The order said that a pass would be necessary to enter the state or to visit other states. After some time, the revised order was issued saying that the borders have not been sealed, but interstate movement has been controlled. Detailed guidelines were issued by the Home Department in the evening. Overall, these orders will not lead to any major changes in the current system. Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. Raghu Sharma said that the COVID cases have increased rapidly in the last 8 days and the average of 268 cases have increased daily. Mr. Sharma also said that the government is also investigating the reasons for the rapid increase of infection. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
In Maharashtra, the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme has been a boon to address the problem of livelihood in rural areas of the state. More in this report.
In the wake of COVID-19 pandemic and ensuing lockdown, the Government of India under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Package has increased the pay in Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme by 20 rupees. As a result of this, a large number of manpower became available for Manrega work. The Bhandara district in the state has topped in the work done under this particular scheme, while Amravati district has come at second position. Under Bhandara Zilla Parishad, over 1,23,000 people in rural areas were provided employment from the beginning of lockdown till 28th of May, while in Amravati district, a close to 87,000 manpower jobs were created through 3,120 works executed in 690 villages in the district. The administrations ensured that the Manrega work was done while using masks, sanitizers and maintaining physical distance. Besides, the money too was credited directly to the workers' bank or post office account within 15 days. Villagers who benefited with the scheme have thanked the central government and said that the Manrega scheme was a lifeline for them when all the work was stopped due to the nationwide lockdown. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
S&P today retained India's sovereign rating at BBB with a stable outlook, saying that while risks to growth are rising, the economy and the fiscal position will stabilize and begin to recover from 2021 onwards. It said the stable outlook reflects that India's economy will recover following the containment of COVID-19 pandemic and the country will maintain its sound net external position. S&P also said the stable outlook also assumes that the government's fiscal deficit will recede markedly following a multi-year high in fiscal year 2021.
In our series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we will bring you the views of the leading medical experts on COVID-19. Dr. Anand Mohan, head of pulmonary medicines, AIIMS, has advised people not to take medicine like hydrochloroquine or anti-malarial without a prescription by a doctor.
Please do not take medicines such as azithromycin, other antibiotics, antivirals or hydroxychloroquine or other antimalarials without a proper prescription by a doctor. Do not self-medicate.
Jacinta Gunjia, Senior Nursing Officer, AIIMS, has stressed on the need to break chain of infection.
Social distancing is a non-pharmaceutical infection prevention and control intervention to break the chain of infection.
Veteran actor Hrithik Roshan has appealed to people to follow guidelines to contain the spread of novel coronavirus.
आज हम सब एक बहुत मुश्किल दौर से गुजर रहे हैं। कोरोना वायरस एक ऐसी सच्चाई है जो जोरों से फैल रही है। इस सच्चाई से हम मुंह नहीं मोड़ सकते हैं। हमें इसका सामना करना है और सामना करने के लिए कुछ कदम हैं जो हम उठा सकते हैं, जो इस महामारी को रोक सकती है। सबसे पहला कदम है साबुन से अपने हाथों को धोएं हर 1 घंटे पे। ये बहुत ही एक आसान रास्ता है इस महामारी को रोकने का, प्लीज कीजिए। दूसरा कदम है सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का। एक दूसरे से कम 6 फीट की दूरी पर रहें। आइए थोड़ा जिम्मेदार बनते हैं।
In Sri Lanka, the date for the next parliament election has been finally decided for August 5th. The new date comes after elections were postponed twice because of COVID crisis. Country's election commission said that relevant gazette notification for election date has been sent for printing. Sri Lanka's parliament was dissolved on March 2nd and parliamentary polls were initially to be held on April 25th but had to be postponed due to the outbreak of COVID-19. More from a Colombo correspondent.
Sri Lankan Election Commission has said the election dates has been decided keeping in view the health guidelines issued by Health Department. The guidelines stipulate holding of public meetings with not more than 500 people, with social distancing maintained and increased use of publicity materials and media for campaign activities. It may be mentioned that Sri Lankan Parliament was dissolved on 2nd March, 6 months before end of its term, as current government under Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa sought a majority in House to implement its policy. Some opposition parties and civil society groups had demanded revival of old Parliament due to COVID crisis, but their petition before Supreme Court was rejected last week. Sri Lanka has not seen any community case of COVID for over a month, but holding of successful election will be a challenge in wake of restrictions posed by COVID. Santosh Kumar for AIR News from Colombo.
In an effort to guard against fake news being circulated on various platforms, we bring you a segment on fact-checking and myth-busters. The government has dismissed the report circulating on social media that the Home Ministry may suspend air and rail services and again impose nationwide lockdown from 15th of June. The Press Information Bureau has termed it fake. It has also cautioned the people to be aware of such types of misleading photos spreading fake news.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have minimum temperature of 26 degrees Celsius and maximum 41 degrees Celsius. The sky will be generally cloudy and there is also possibility of light rain. Mumbai is expected to witness rain or thunder showers towards evening or night. The temperature is likely to hover between 26 to 32 degrees Celsius. In the south, Chennai will see generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will fluctuate between 29 and 34 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will witness partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature in the metropolis will be 27 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 34. Chandigarh is expected to witness cloudy sky. The lower limit of temperature will be 28 degrees Celsius, while the upper limit will be around 38 degrees. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 24 and 36 degrees Celsius. An area will see a partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature will be 24 degrees Celsius, while maximum 36 degrees. Sky will be generally cloudy with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature will be 25 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while maximum will be around 36 degrees Celsius. The city will observe partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Gilgit, the temperature will hover between 17 and 36 degrees Celsius, while partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Muzaffarabad, there will be partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. It will witness minimum temperatures of 16 degrees Celsius, while maximum temperature will be around 34 degrees Celsius. And now, before we end the headlines once again, number of recovered COVID-19 patients exceeds number of active patients for the first time. Recovery rate improves to 48.88%. Delhi hospitals asked to display availability of beds and costs on LED boards. Prime Minister Narendra Modi assures Assam Chief Minister of all possible support to deal with the Bagjan fire incident. 200 stranded Indian nationals repatriated from Maldives today. Prime Minister reviews Kedarnath development and reconstruction project with Uttarakhand government, and Sri Lankan parliament elections to be held on August 5th. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news.